Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's ZPro here bringing you another Minecraft World War II fortification tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and doing a design for a mortar pit. This mortar pit here is designed to be a World War II based one, and basically it involves the fortification of a mortar and its team inside of a entrenched position. The version we have in front of us is kind of more of a advanced mortar pit with a couple of blast runoff trenches and also protected ammunition storage. So definitely has a lot more protection and kind of a more fortified, kind of more of a permanent type mortar pit. So definitely something that you would see more in kind of a real well-established front line or well-established battle line, and all that fun stuff. Now I do plan on releasing a few more tutorials for mortars itself. So you can go ahead and change out the mortar inside there for being a German, American, Soviets mortar, whatever you guys want. You'll be able to pick a mortar and place it in there. Now the trench itself came out pretty cool and it's pretty straightforward. So as we can see here, we have basically what looks like a mustache. A lot of you guys pointed that out when I posted a picture of a top-down view of it. Basically here we have the central mortar section, so this is where the mortar crew and all that would be doing the majority of the fighting. So they would have their mortar here and be able to launch mortars from this position. Around here, I went ahead and added some other various details with the mortar itself, which was the tutorial I posted yesterday for mortar. We have some various little ammo crates, boxes, and a little radio here for obviously getting fire control points or coordinates or something like that. And then to the sides here we have kind of these blast protection trenches, so slanted narrow trenches here, and the sides here can be fitted for ammunition. So you can see over here we have just some ammunition piled up here, so if for some reason a shell came down and hit the inside here, this would detonate, but it would relatively keep the crew somewhat protected. They wouldn't be exposed directly to the blast, and same thing if the mortar came down and landed here, it wouldn't blow up this ammunition, hopefully. So that's kind of the theory behind this and why this trench is kind of shaped the way it is. So these diagonal kind of ways here cut off the explosion and stuff like that and protect the crew. So yeah, overall pretty simple looking trench and pretty much fortification and something that's really cool. There's plenty of different types of mortar pits, so this is going to be my first version. There are several other ones, but this is kind of more of a complex, more stationary, basically supposed to be in like some kind of more fortified and well-established type front line scenarios. But yeah, I think it looks really cool, and it's going to make an awesome addition to any front lines and stuff like that, especially your World War II maps where you're looking to put some nice mortar pits and add a little bit of detail to your worlds. Anyways, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial. Alright guys, so to go ahead and get started, we're going to be going ahead and doing the outline of the trench system to begin with. Now for this, our blocks, or basically our trench walls here, do stick one block above the ground, so we're just going to basically build this going around the ground and basically set up our outline. So to begin with, we're going to be going ahead and beginning with what will be the right side, this point right here. So if you're building this in a certain area, just take that into account. We have the right side right there that we're starting from. Anyways, from this point here, we're going to go ahead and go forward with a spruce wood plank. And let me just go ahead and grab a full block here. And then go down from the spruce wood plank, we're going to place down a spruce log. You can also use the stripped spruce wood blocks as well. Probably would work a little bit better. After that, you're going to go ahead and go on the outside here. You're going to go ahead and go back 1, 2 blocks like this. Then you're going to go ahead and go over with a stripped birch wood or a stripped spruce wood block, followed by a plank back. We're going to go over at an angle, place down a plank, followed by a wood block, and another plank. Now for the intersection here, we're going to go and place down a plank here, followed by a spruce log here, and spruce plank like that. Going from the spruce log, we're going to go ahead and go over 1 and 2 spruce planks. After that, we want to go and place down a spruce wood piece like this, spruce plank, spruce piece like that, and then we're going to go ahead and place down a spruce plank here at an angle, then a spruce wood piece, spruce plank, spruce wood piece. And going to the back section back here, we're going to go and pretty much continue this on. So if we're going to go ahead and go up from the spruce wood plank like this, spruce wood block like that, then again up a spruce wood plank, spruce wood log, And then from this point, we want to go and go from the spruce wood log. We're going to go and go back 1 and 2 spruce wood planks and then a spruce wood piece, just like that. And basically we get an outline that looks something just like this. And we can go ahead and basically do the same thing over here this side. So spruce wood plank, spruce wood log, plank, log, and again 2 planks, spruce wood log, spruce plank that goes back like that, going off this log, 1 and 2, one spruce wood plank forward, spruce wood piece, and then a spruce wood plank, and then again wrapped around the same thing around the side here. So again, you can look at the air side there, it's completely symmetrical on both sides, so whatever we're doing on the one side will be the same over on the air side. So just gonna take this around like so, and then like this, and we have a connection like so. And if we go and look at it from above, we should have a shape that looks something just like this. So give you a moment here. If you need to, you can pause it, take a good look at it. But yeah, we want a design just like this for the trenches. Now to go ahead and bring it to the correct depth, we're going to go ahead and go the inside here, and we want to go and bring down everything within the space 2 blocks down. So again, we're going to go and just dig out this entire area until we go and we have a total of 2 blocks down around the sides. Also for this section right here, you can just go ahead and bring this section down right here, and then for this we're going to leave this alone, and we're going to come back to that shortly. But anyways, go ahead and dig this whole trench out, and I'll come back and with you guys when I have this completely dug out and finished. Alright guys, so as you can see, I went ahead and I dug out this entire area for the trench, and you can see as we go down in here, we have a total of 3 blocks high for the walls. Next step here is just to go ahead and go directly down from these blocks here, and we're going to go and just basically extend our walls of our trench all the way around. And this here is just going to create the walls basically of the trench. And we're going to be using wood for this plank, so we're just going to go and take exactly down from the points directly above. So I'm going to go and do this all the way around the entire trench, and again I'll see you guys once I have that all complete. Alright guys, with that out of the way, you can see we have the walls all set up here around the trench, and everything looks pretty good, looks pretty solid now. So now the next step for us to go ahead and do is we want to actually go ahead and randomize up the ground of the inside here. So for me personally, what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and I used some brown concrete powder, soul sand, dirt, and coarse dirt, and basically all I did was randomize up the ground. And I think these blocks work the best because they create kind of a good muddy type feeling to the trench. And again, you know, you just need to randomize it. You don't need to copy exactly what I'm doing here. If you want to use some different blocks for the ground, feel free to go ahead and do so. Personally for me, this is what I felt looked the best, at least in my opinion. But again, everybody has different opinions on what looks good, so if you want to use a different set of blocks, then feel free to do so. But we're just going to be going ahead and taking this all the way around. Make sure there's no grass in your trench. We definitely don't want any of that, because it's going to kind of take away from the whole point of it, make it look like it's a dugout position. And then when we get to this section right here, we do want to build kind of a bit of a slope that leads out here. So for this, we're just going to gradually make a slope, and this is going to be real simple using a combination of spruce wood and dark oak wood slabs, and using our randomized blocks that we were using before. And we're just going to go and basically take this up at a gradual slope. It doesn't need to be very drastic at all. And again, just using kind of a randomized type pattern to it. Again, nothing too crazy here. And we're just going to take this all the way up to this point, and we can create a little bit of a path here that maybe leads to some command post, or just very briefly out of the trench. So then we have this path kind of randomized up here. We can, put that right there, and you see you just have a gradual little slope here. And again, you can change it however you guys want, whatever works best. But also on the sides here, we will want to go ahead and bring these planks down as well, just to make sure everything looks flush and neat. So that right there has our trench kind of dug in, and we have the ground randomized, everything like that. We do have some grass growing here, so let me go and just make sure that we get rid of that, because we do not want that. And just like that. So as you can see, we have a nice look here to the trench, nice dug in position. And the next course of action is for us to go ahead and do the outside. Now, with the trench, we do want to show that there was actually dug out, so we're going to have basically a layer of dirt that's going to be surrounding the outside here. And again, this is something that you'll have to kind of randomize for yourself, but we're going to basically just be taking some our 4 materials that we were using before, or whatever materials you were preferring, and we're just going to go ahead and kind of layer this around the outside of the trench here, kind of basically forming a kind of mound of dirt almost. And we have that randomized around. So we have our line of dirt that goes around, and now the next course of action is to go ahead and take some slabs, and just to kind of smooth it out just a tiny bit more, we're going to place down a thin layer of slabs that goes around. And again, don't hesitate to randomize the slabs here with different types of wood. So spruce wood and dark oak wood I think work the best. And we have something that looks like this for the wraparound. And looking at it from above, you can already see that it looks a whole lot more advanced. You know, it kind of has definitely a more kind of depth to it and more shape and all that. So we have this basic structure set up and good to go. One thing you can also do is, if your ground isn't already, you can go and randomize some blocks here in the ground as well. Again, you know, kind of showing that dug up type look to it. Give it a little bit of more of a worn out area. But again, that's something I'll leave for you guys to do. And you'll just take this, place down blocks around the ground, kind of randomized around it. For example, you can look over here at this one, how I kind of did it. So, something like that. Anyways, that's all done for there. The next part we're going to be going and covering here is the sandbags. Now, this is a feature that is kind of optional. Personally, I think it looks good, gives a more fortified look to the position. But basically, it's just taking a combination of smooth sandstone and basically placing it around here to kind of create some sandbag type looks around the walls here. And we're going to basically follow the outline of our wood here, and also don't hesitate to kind of have it come off by one block or something like that at the sides here. Kind of create a little bit more variety, I guess, in it, so it's not just following the outline. You can kind of break it up a little bit. So as you can see here, putting like a little bit more of a bigger mound right there, and starting over here, we'll have it kind of follow the outline. So again, you can kind of randomize it up a little bit, give it more of a different look, and that's what I definitely recommend. Don't just do a straight line of blocks all the way around here. Adding this broken up look gives it more kind of war-torn type look to it, and it also basically just adds a little bit more detail and a little bit more, you know, variety to the build. And let's add a few slabs right there. And so as you can see here, looking at it, you have a pretty nice little fortification here. The sandbag kind of slits in here, act as rifleman positions and stuff like that. So if there were accompanying troops in here, or if the mortar team for some reason needed to actually fire with their infantry weapons, they would be able to, you know, have some cover and stuff like that within the trench. Now, with that out of the way, that's pretty much the main fortifications here for the trench, or actually how to make the fortification itself. What we're going to go ahead and dive into next is basically the little details that you can add to it to kind of spice it up, make it look a little bit more, you know, lived in and a little bit more actually in use. So with that, that's our overall kind of design here for the fortification. Let's move into little details to spice it up a little bit. Alright guys, so to go ahead and spice up the trench a little bit, it's pretty straightforward what we can do. As I mentioned before, we have these little side trenches or little side pieces right here that extend out, and this right here is basically for ammunition storage. So for this, we can go ahead and just use a mixture of some stripped oak wood blocks like this to kind of create what would be like ammo boxes or something of that sort. And I use daylight detectors as well because they kind of look like individual mortar shells in kind of like a carton or in a pack. So kind of a few more like that, kind of exposed ones like that. And we don't want to stack up too much, just a, you know, simple amount of ammo or ammunition that any mortar team would, you know, have. So not just a full trench of ammunition, but just a small little section there. And then in this section here, I went ahead and I put a line of stripped oak wood or stripped spruce wood around like this to kind of create a little bit more of a platform. This allows for maybe the mortar commander to be able to maybe look out with binoculars. Again, the mortar team, if they need to use small arms to fire back on approaching enemies or stuff like that. This basically gives a little bit more elevation to the trench, and you can add this in other places too. You know, for example, if you wanted to over here, you could have a bit of a raised area as well. But again, it's kind of up to you guys on what you guys really want to do for this. But yeah, that's what I went ahead and did here. So you have like a little bit of a area here to look out, and I guess over here as well. You know, maybe for some troops to fire out as well. So again, kind of giving it that more fortified position. But since our trenches are so small here, they're more designed for being used to store things and to move through rather than to actually fight from these trenches here. But these points here on the sides can definitely be used for fighting, and this section right here. Anyways, with that out of the way, one thing I also went ahead and added was a radio. Now, not sure exactly how realistic this would be, but I imagine most of the time mortar teams or something would have some sort of radio to be able to talk to observers and stuff like that, make sure their shells are hitting on target, get firing coordinates, stuff like that. So for this, real simple, I placed down a smoker, followed by a gray concrete block next to it. On the side of the gray concrete block, I placed down a tripwire hook, and on top of the smoker, I placed down a gray carpet, and then I went up from the gray concrete block 1, 2, and 3 iron bars, so just for a little simple radio antenna. And actually, to make those iron bars not connect, we can use end rods, so that kind of looks a little bit better there and keeps our blocks from connecting. Also, I went ahead and took a item frame, so we'll go ahead and grab one, and then I also went ahead and took a compass and put a item frame and compass here. So a little radio here and all that. And then also, since this is the area that our mortar is going to be located, we do want to make sure that we have some ammo boxes in the general area here, ready, accessible, and maybe use some mortars right here. So on this side, I imagine we'd have the mortar loader, probably the mortar kind of team commander, and then the aimer or whatever would be positioned here where the mortar is. And also, one thing I should also address is that this may want to be moved. You may want to move this back just a tiny bit because our mortar will fill the space. So you do want to give yourself a little bit more room in terms of the staircase. So let's go ahead and kind of push this back just a little bit to give us that space that we need. And we'll just go ahead and again extend our walls down so that we don't have any weird gaps and all that. And so as you can see, we have something that looks just like this. You have your fighting compartment here for the mortar, and you can feel free to kind of add stuff from there. That's basically the general design for it. I do have a tutorial for mortar up on the channel, and I will be releasing a few more tutorials for mortars. So if you are looking for some different mortar designs, feel free to refer to one of those tutorials to put a nice mortar in that area. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for this tutorial in particular. I definitely think it came out really cool. It's really nice, really simple, and it's going to add a really cool kind of fortification to your worlds. Anyways, that's it for our first version of the mortar pit. I definitely plan on doing a few more different versions, as there was kind of less sophisticated mortar pits, more kind of just plain circles, and then that's it. So I definitely plan on doing some more mortar pits in the future, but this is kind of more of one of the more advanced ones. Anyways, hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial for this fortification. If you have any fortification ideas, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll definitely look into hopefully doing them in the near future. And with that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been DerekFrostWestbrook, and I'll see you guys next time.